Hello guys, long time no see. This is VacantVex speaking. Well, not been too long, but it has been a while. And I was planning on to do the PSO2 CBT video that talk about how I feel about the game, but at the end of the day, I didn't get invited to the closed beta test, so I can't do any of it. I would like to provide my side of stories and how I think about the game so far, but I just didn't get the chance. But from the start, I'm going to tell you guys about this. I think it's the most huge thing that are going on is that there will be a global closed beta test, which means it's not just the Japanese version that are getting a CBT. People around the world will get chances to get their hands on the CBT. So for the more information, you will want to go on the PSO2 Global version's Twitter account and their websites to keep your eyes on it and wait for them to announce when the Global CBT will be started and participated. It's not out yet, but they say that it will be in the near future, so just keep your eyes on it. And I think most people use Twitter, right? So just go follow them and yeah. But anyway, we got the new NGS Prologue 2 live stream yesterday. And I'm going to talk about some information because the stream is like over an hour. So I'm trying to maybe control it to like 5 to 10 minutes in a video to tell you guys about what they include in the Prologue 2. Nothing new really, so if you're here for the new information, you can check out the timestamps below and try to skip to the second half part of the video because there will be kind of a new information about stuffs that are happening and new weapons that are going to release while the game launch. So you may want to check there, but most of the time we're going to talk about what the closed beta tests include. So let's talk about the main thing in this Prologue 2, which they talk about the first CBT's enemies and exploration and stuffs. So in the first CBT, they includes 3 kind of enemies, which is the main enemy dolls and a second type of new enemies, which is altars, and then there's the old PSO2 enemy, which is called formers. And they also showed us that the 2 dolls boss, which is Bujin, and then there's Daitao sword, and for altars we got Chaokurio, I think that's how it's pronounced, and there's Swollen. And on the former side, we got the Craig Bear and Art Bouncer and Out Banshee. And this seems like there's just these type of enemies in the CBT yet. And the next thing they talk about is kind of interesting because I think they didn't mention this before, which is that for the comeback section, they are limited to 8 players, but there's a exploration section which can contain up to 32 players at once. And in the exploration section, you can gather materials, find new locations, or hunt certain enemies. But since it's a exploration section but not a combat section, which I think it means that it's not that combat focused, so they say that there are less enemy encounters that are happening compared to the combat section. But also, there are some special enemies that will only appear in the exploration section. For example, there are these dread enemies, which is described as an area guardian for the exploration section. And they are like the enemies that I talked about, the Bujin, the Banzer, etc. But they are just more powerful than usual. And then there's Gigantics, which appears in certain conditions. I don't really understand what that's supposed to mean, but basically they are much more higher level than the dread enemies and only appears for a period of time and then they'll just leave. So I don't know, just that's a thing. And then there's the main gameplay, which I mean the cosmetics and stuff. Yeah, you guys know. We used to have innerwear and basewear as tickets, but now outerwear will also be tickets, which means that you don't have to take up your inventory storage, which is a good thing, but I think everybody is thinking about how about trading them, like if I have one and I don't want one, can I just trade them or not? It seems like a no for now, and I'm not sure how the economy in the game will be in this kind of circumstances. But anyway, it's still a good thing to know that they are trying to make our storage much more usable, not containing too many stuffs. And also they talk about a new type of costume, which is called setware, which is counted as a baseware slot, but you can't apply any outware while you're using the setware. And it's also registered by tickets. So I'm thinking about maybe this is just the normal outfit before the innerwear and the outerwear was a thing, you know, we just have one thing. And I think the setwear is the same thing but registered by tickets. I don't know, or maybe it's just an outwear plus basewear that you can apply an innerwear by yourself. I'm not sure about this, but we'll see. And then they talk about the camo, the weapon camo. So in PSO2 you can only apply one weapon camo at a time, and if you want to change all your weapons how it looks, then you can spend another special the camo ticket to make your weapon look completely like another weapon, and that's kind of complicated. So now instead of doing one at a time, you can set your weapon camo for each weapon category rather than using one at once, and that's a great thing. On next day, talk about the subclass stuffs, which the subclass is much more usable and powerful for now. The subclass's stats will no longer affect your main class, and all the weapons, PAs, tags on the subclass will be usable. And also the class skills that makes impacts on weapons will also be applied for main class, which means that the subclass and the main class is more like you're choosing two things and mix them together rather than having one thing as a main and one thing as a support. I think that's how things are now. And then they talk about some other subs like the skill points. Skill points are not earned by leveling anymore. You don't get one per level, but you can get them by clearing cocoons and towers. And also the skills points are universal, which means that they can be spent on all classes, and you can even just invest a lot of skill points when you switch to a new class. So this is kind of interesting because although this is a new way to get skill points and it's not just by leveling, but what I see here is that is the classes limit skill points not a thing anymore, or will they cap certain classes? Maybe on certain level you can invest only like 12 or 24 or something like that. I'm not sure about that. They didn't address it, but still a thing that we'll see, you know. And there's a system called limit break that can increase the enhancement cap, which makes low rarity equipment that has store caps can be better than they should be, you know. And as they describe, a 1-star weapon can be upgraded to a 4-star weapon's strength at max. Not sure about this. I think it's interesting, but if a 1-star weapon can be upgraded to a 4-star weapon's strength, then how about the 4-star weapon's strength being upgraded to maybe like a 7-star, you know? The gap between 1 and 4 is still going to be a 4 and 7. That's still not very nice. I don't know about that, so we'll see. You know, everything is just we'll see, because they're not speaking in very completely. They are just sharing some of the information and not talking it too detailed, you know. So, and on the last thing they share is that there's a system called battle power, which is counted by your HP, your attack, your defense, your skill point used, etc. And some urgent quests will require players to have enough battle power to join. And I think this is their solution to the players that are talking about that their quest's teammates aren't very good, you know. So some people might not know, but in PSO2 there are a thing. I don't know what's it in English, and I don't participate it. It's just basically there are tests for arcs. And after that you get the title, then you unlock the mod. And when the mod is turned on, you can turn it on and off by yourself. When it's turned on, then only the people turn the mod on will get into the same room, same team. So when there's an emergency quest, they will only match the peoples that have acquired the title, which means that they have a certain strength and certain ability to clear those stuff by themselves. So basically they are like verified good players kind of stuffs. So that's a thing. That used to be a thing. And I think battle power is the solution to delete the old systems. How you gotta get the title. So after this, they just kind of talk about some player feedback in the first closed beta and some stats. So I'm not going to talk about that If you're interested, you can watch the live stream, and they have timestamps, so you can just jump there and watch, and I'll leave the live streams link in the description and you can check it out. Okay, so for new stuffs, there are two parts of new stuffs. First of all, they talk about all the other weapons that will include after the game launches. For the hunter, there's the partisan and wired lens, and for ranger weapon there are the launchers, and for fighter there are twin dagger and double saber. For force and tector there are talus. So in the last video, the prologue one, I thought that they're going to have each class only stick on one weapon, but seems like it's not the case. So don't worry, it's coming out, but it's just not going to include in the closed beta. It's going to be there after the game launch. And for the second new information, they didn't include this in the global version of the live stream, but in the Japanese version of the night live stream, which is what I watched, they announced that there will be a fourth Phantasy Star series concert, which is about the PS Online, not the Fantasy series, but the Phantasy Star Online series 20 years anniversary concert, which is called Sympathy 2021, and it's going to be held in April 24th. And there will also be live streams on Streaming Plus. I think that's a Japanese site, I guess. And the archive of the stream will be online until May 2nd. And you can watch it online or offline, and either of both you will get special in-game items. And the items looks pretty good. It's not just PSO2, but they also includes the new stamp thing in the new Genesis, which is cute. I hope I get it, but I don't have the money, so. But of course, I think since they didn't announce this on the global version, I think even though you want to get the items, you bought the ticket, you will still need to have maybe a VPN or something to watch it. I think they will be region locked since this is Sega and it's Japan, you know, so. Well, anyway, this is all the things that they share in Prologue 2. There's not much, but I think it's a good move to let people know what's going on in the closed beta, since there's not much chance to get our hands on it. So these are the informations, and yeah, I think this is the video, and I hope you guys have a nice day. Stay tuned for the global closed beta test announcement. Good luck, ARCs, and this is VacantVex, over and out.